NDTV's Shweta Rajpal Kohli is joined by Commerce Minister Anand Sharma. It's over to Shweta.
The Aam Aadmi Party government in Delhi has decided to scrap the centre's policy to allow FDI and multi-brand retail. So Delhi will not see any of those foreign stores in multi-brand retail. To talk more about it, Commerce and Industry Minister Anand Sharma is with us here on NDTV. Thanks very much, Mr. Minister, for joining us. Your first reaction to the Delhi government's decision not to allow FDI and multi-brand retail in Delhi?
I don't think that it is a well-considered view taken. It also appears to me that Mr. Kejriwal or his party do not have any comprehension of the policy, that it was put in place through a very transparent, consultative, democratic process, which involved intense stakeholder consultations. There's the farmers' unions, consumer unions, the industry association, particularly the MSME sector, community organization, political parties, state governments, and there was a broad national consensus.
With the rider that states have the right to decide whether or not they want it. So that given that rider, perhaps it's their right to decide whether they want it or not.
That we are not a banana republic. There was a legally constituted government in Delhi which commanded over two-thirds majority in the Delhi Assembly. And they took a view. Can there be abrupt reversals? India has never seen knee-jerk reactions. Now, what is important is to perhaps understand who constitute the Aam Aadmi. The farmers have endorsed it because they stand to benefit with better remunerative prices. Today, India's farmer is exploited. Right. What a farmer gets and what you pay as a consumer is a fundamental question. Secondly, post-harvest losses, particularly for fruits and vegetables, are as high as 35 to 40%. So if that is saved by creating a back-end infrastructure, there's sorting, grading, cold storages, agro-processing industries, not only it helps the farmers, it creates millions of jobs in the villages of the country.
That is a view that is being held by your government. But certainly the Aam Aadmi Party has come to power on the basis of a manifesto in which they had clearly mentioned that they will reverse this policy. They're not.
I'm not getting
So the same democratic process that you're talking about, it's the very same democracy that has given the mandate to the Aam Aadmi Party to form the government in Delhi. And they believe that this policy is not in the interest of people.
I don't think they have a mandate. They are a minority government supported from... No, they are a minority government supported from outside by the Congress party. Without getting into any debate on that, I am on a fundamental question. Because the reason which they have given, first of all, the communication I am told they have sent to the DIPP gives no reason.
They say it will increase unemployment. In the communication, no reason has been given.
I have just told you how the jobs will be created in rural areas. Are they Indian citizens? Does the sons and daughters of our farmers or people living in rural areas fall within their definition of Aam Aadmi or excluded? Secondly, when the stores are opened up in the cities, metropolis, whom will they employ? Foreign nationals or Indians? Those sons and daughters of this country who will find gainful employment, are they Aam Aadmi or not? Thirdly, the consumer.
Sure.
Today consumer is fleeced. So what they are speaking, for whom are they speaking, I fail to understand.
Fair enough. And this is a debate we've had even when you yourself had tried to push this policy through. We've had this extensive debate on whether or not FDI and multi-brand retail is good for the country, good for farmers or not. But sir, a simple question. You yourself said the Aam Aadmi Party is a minority government in Delhi, supported by the Congress party. Would you withdraw support on an issue like this?
On that, it is for the people of Delhi to see, and it's for the Delhi Legislative Assembly to consider. Because I don't speak on their behalf. What I'm saying is that, first of all, it is baffling and it is devoid of any merit or logic. As you can see that if the consumer and the farmers and their children are not part of the Aam Aadmi lexicon, then this means that only protecting the interests of the middlemen who do not give farmer what the farmer deserves and charge the consumer what the consumer is not happy paying, then Whom is it going to benefit? And second quick issue which I need to flag off is that organized retail is in India for more than 2 decades. So big corporate money is there. What is FDI got to do with it? It's only the color of the money.
What are your legal options right now, Mr. Minister? Because I remember talking to you in the past on the fact that this is a policy which is not an all-encompassing policy. States have the right to reverse the policy like it has happened in the case of Delhi. It may happen, for instance, in Rajasthan as well. So this is a kind of situation you're likely to face.
Policy reversal is not that easy.
So options? Legally, can you stop Delhi government from doing that?
Government, because states were given the option.
Sure.
Those states which opted for it took a legitimate decision, a cabinet decision, and which was communicated to the government of India in writing. Thereafter, the official notifications came. So I'll ask my officers to examine it. Because today is a public holiday, they will look at it, because it's not, as I said, India is a responsible, mature democracy. We are not a banana republic. What message are we sending?
And I'd like to talk a little more about the message that something like this will send across to foreign investors when you, at this point in time, are still trying to woo some of those multi-brand retail players, some of those large giants into the country. So on one hand, you're trying to woo them, trying to bring them into the country, and then one of the largest retail markets in the country, Delhi NCR clearly is one of the largest retail markets. Why would a foreign player want to come into India when one of the largest markets has said they don't want it?
The stores will come out all around Delhi. Whether it's in Haryana, it's in UP, it's in Uttarakhand, it is in Himachal.
Allow it either.
Well, you will have then still the big stores in the near vicinity.
Right now you're limited to only about 7 to 8 states that are allowing it. Is that correct? 12 states. 12 states, but the number is narrowing
after Delhi's decision, which is now in the grey area. The 12.
Or perhaps a decision taken on part of the Delhi government.
There was a queue of foreign investors outside Mr. Kejriwal's residence or Aam Aadmi Party office. But they have to think that it's not a question of which sector. It's a question of whether you have understanding of that sector. I would like to ask a question from him. Are you for organized retail, which is big retail? Because that also has, without that has no conditionalities of 50% investment going to back-end infrastructure, 30% sourcing from the MSME. So he's supporting that. And he's supporting the interest of the middlemen. And they are giving all these arguments which are devoid of logic. Let people judge it for themselves.
At the same time, people would view this as the party coming to power and fulfilling its promises, because, Mr. Sharma, the fact remains that this is a government that's come to power on the basis of a certain number of promises, and they are trying to fulfill those in record time in many ways.
Let's see, announcements are not fulfillment of policy. The proof of the pudding lies in eating. Let the people of Delhi see what is the pudding served to them finally and whether those promises are realized. Populism bordering anarchy is not good governance. Governance is very complex, and decision making also and policy making are again not easy exercises in democracies. Theatrics should be avoided.
You've spent more than a year and a half now trying to convince some of those foreign players to come in. We know Tesco is one large multinational player that has evinced interest and has got the policy approval from the government. You will be in Davos at the World Economic Forum next week, once again trying to convince many more players to invest money into India. How much would decisions like these actually hamper your efforts of bringing in foreign players?
Other governments, state governments, which are big states of India, have gone ahead. And one must understand,
Is that enough? Just about 10 states, would that be enough? And you're saying players are willing to come in. We haven't seen much success so far already. Many are even questioning the wisdom of pushing through a policy like this, which required so much political capital, which is already seeing so much confusion in the mind of a foreign investor, with states like Delhi looking at, have already...
Let me tell you that even if you look at those states, whether it's Andhra, whether it's Karnataka, whether it's Maharashtra, whether it's Haryana, these are very big states of India. Look at the number of people. The population of these states put together is closer to the population of Europe, entire Europe. So investors are happy, and it's only it.
But they haven't come in. That's the main question.
Decisions, Shweta. These are business decisions. Government's job is to put in place a policy regime which is supportive of investments in a particular sector. Right. Then they have to find their local partner. They have to identify the state where they want to be, the cities where they want to go. These are the decisions in which the government is not involved. Those are pure business transactions. But I know it for a fact that more are coming, and it's for the people of Delhi.
That would happen before the elections, the Lok Sabha elections. Will you be able to?
I'm sure. And it's for the people of Delhi to see. And when it comes to delays in investments coming, it happened in single brand also. Today, every major player in the world in single brand is in India. We have received over $3 billion of investment in single brand already. And who is benefiting? Our people, our artisans, our small enterprises, because they are also sourcing a lot from India. Take the case of IKEA. They took 14 months, but they are finally here.
But it's not just the Aam Aadmi Party. We know for a fact that the BJP is on record to say that if they come to power after the Lok Sabha elections, they're going to reverse your policy decision as well. So you're really left at this point with a handful of states agreeing to it, one state already reversing it, a large party that may come to power saying that we'll reverse it.
I'm sure that BJP in any case speaks only for middlemen, and that misfortune of their capturing power on their own will not visit this country. I still remain optimistic about our people, their wisdom. But I may say one thing. We are a constitutional democracy. We are also party to the multilateral agreements, treaties. There is something called pre-establishment, something called post-establishment. Those who will come in under the existing policy in the states which have accepted and which are notified, they will be fully protected. You must understand, under law and also under WTO and under our own laws. So that cannot be taken away. BJP making these statements, it's highly irresponsible. We know that they have opposed everything. It's like a kind of a reaction, a Pavlovian reaction to everything what the UPA government does. They have to oppose it. They have done it in parliament, they have done it outside.
But it's an ideological position that a party would like to hold.
It's difficult to support organized retail, and when it comes to foreign direct investment which you need, again in organized retail you are opposed to it. As I said earlier, it's only the color of the money. The fundamental question would be, does India need foreign direct investment or not?
Alright, so you're saying the question really is between big retail, organized retail versus foreign retail, and if you're allowing, and if you don't have a policy issue, right?
Organized retail, big retail, is 100%. There are no conditions. Right. Here we have put conditions, and it's only 51%, 49% still be an Indian entity. Jobs will be for Indians, sourcing will be from Indians. So what is happening? We fail to understand the wisdom of opposition.
Not just the opposition. Arvind Kejriwal has said that he's not opposed to FDI as such. So when we are also trying to understand the economic model of this new party that has come to power with fascinating...
What is their economic model? We heard some statements about which actually led to serious concern about national security and integrity. Good that they clarify. But we have to see these are early days, and I can say one thing. There are concerns because what we are seeing is kind of populism, but which also is pushing society towards anarchy. Let's wait and watch.
We'll wait and watch, but at the same time, the question really remains is, going forward, looking at 2014, what are we really headed for? So here is the government that has tried to push forward one particular FDI policy.
Not one, many.
Many. In this case, this was the one which was the controversial.
Aviation, defense, single brand, telecom.
Sure, but this is a controversial one, the one that made the maximum noise, and yet we've not...
Because I think there were vested interests involved, and I still maintain.
But at the same time, we've not seen success very much as you would have liked to. You would have liked to see many more players coming in.
These are the business decisions. People have to look at where to go. It's not done overnight. It's not like for them to take a decision for the foreign investor. It's not that, they are already sitting somewhere with the partners and they have to go through legal processes of their own board resolutions, their understanding with the partnership agreements with the Indian partner, then with the concerned state and the process of approval.